Only a crazy person is going to try to climb the top of the ladder with Ancient Warriors, but somehow, some way, I've done it. There's so many crazy decks on the ladder. There's Drytron with the million negates, Adamancipator that takes like 50 minutes to take a turn, Eldritch that just flips up 2 cards and they win, Sky Striker which never seems to die and they get stronger as time goes on. It doesn't matter. I chose Ancient Warriors, I stuck with them, and I managed to reach the top, Platinum 1. And I'm going to show you guys the deck, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of things that I've learned on my torturous, masochistic climb to the top with Ancient Warriors. The Trouble from the East, as I like to call them. The Oriental Menace. So let's take a look at them. None other than the deck right here. So you guys can take a look at my decks if you'd like, if you want to pause. Here are some amusing names. I'll give you a guess to see what these cards are actually, what these decks actually are. But the focus is on this one, the Trouble from the East. So let's take a look at this one. If you guys can guess what decks these are, I'll give you a little prize or something. So let's take a look at my deck. So I'm always changing this deck. I'm changing it with more experience that I have, with more game knowledge, and based on the meta. And I think this is going to be my preferred build for Season 4 at least. The biggest change I have for this deck is going to be the hand trap lineup, because I completely dropped Ash Blossom. That's right, there's no Ash Blossom in this deck. I only have Maxx C. The reason I dropped Ash Blossom and I tried to minimize the amount of hand traps I'm playing is because, unfortunately, our favorite arrogant warrior, Lu Feng, he has been a pain in my butt for a long time because he will turn off other monster effects if he uses his effect, or if another card like Ash Blossom or Maxx C uses their effect, he will not activate his effect. He's going to stand there, he's going to laugh at you for trying to use something that's not an Ancient Warrior, and then he's going to be not doing much. So that's why I only tried to pick the best hand trap, and I think that's going to be Maxx C. Because if you fight something crazy like a Drytron player, or Adamancipator that takes like an hour to take their turn, or anything else, Maxx C is usually going to be helpful if they don't have Ash Blossom or something. But that's what Called by the Grave is for. So I try to minimize the amount of hand traps because Lu Feng will clash with them. And there's been so many times where I had to choose between Ash Blossom and Lu Feng. And that choice is not easy. And, it could lose you the game potentially. So I try to minimize the amount of hand traps. I'm only using Maxx C. I might add Ash Blossom in again, depending on how I feel about it, but that's my choice for now. Zoodiac Thoroughblade, he is going to be the 1-card Zoodiac package, and you can see my extra deck. I changed the ratios for the Zoodiac cards. I tried to reduce them actually, and I tried to add a couple of other more useful cards into the deck. So we'll take a look at them later. But Zoodiac Thoroughblade, really interesting. It's a really good surprise for the opponent, putting out a Zeus out of nowhere. So definitely helpful. And you can search him with Tenki. So if you have no other good targets with Tenki, then you could always grab a Thoroughblade and try to go for some Xyz plays. Sun Mou, the boss. Sun Quan himself. Sun Quan. He is going to be your main starter. He's going to be your main combo starter. He's also going to have a very useful effect to bounce other cards into the hand if another Ancient Warrior card will activate their effect. And usually that's going to be with Lu Feng or with Zhang, but it can also occur with, of course, Double Dragon Lords and Zhuge Kong. So, Sun Mou is really going to win you the game. You definitely want to see him in your hand. Liu Xuan, he's inferior to Sun Mou, but that's okay. He still has a place. He's going to be a level 4. He's going to be another starter. And since this is a dedicated going second build, his effect will come up more often, but he's a very good Ash target, and that's one of the weaknesses of the deck. If you get Sun Mou or Liu Xuan negated, you are probably not in for a good time, because you really don't have as many follow-up plays. You might be able to summon Lu Feng to give you some kind of interaction with your opponent, but if you're normal summon gets negated or their effect gets negated, then you probably are in for a bad time. So that's something to keep in mind. So Liu Xuan, basically, he will activate this if your opponent controls more monsters than you do. You send one card from the hand or field to the graveyard to special an Ancient War. Usually, that's going to be, I don't know, probably Zhang or Guan Yun. It really depends on the situation and what you want to do. But try to analyze the situation and see, what do I want with Liu Xuan? Try to build up your board, because you definitely need to build up a board with Liu Xuan. He's going to be alone by himself. He doesn't do anything else besides give you a draw when another Ancient Warrior is attacking. So he doesn't do as much as Sun Mou. So keep that in mind. Zhuge Kong, you really don't want to draw him. He's not very good as a normal summon. But you definitely need him, because if you add it from the deck to the hand through a number of different ways, such as Sun Mou or Liu Xuan or Double Dragon Lord, then he'll special summon himself and he'll give you a free level 4 body. This could potentially get you into link plays into the Double Dragon Lord, or it'll give you a very nice spell and trap negate with his effect, or you could go into a rank 4 play if you want. So Zhuge Kong, very useful special summon. When a spell or trap is activated, you can send an Ancient Warrior continuous spell or trap to the graveyard, negate the activation. That's going to be this one right here. Ancient Warrior Saga, 3 visits. And they work very well together, because if 3 visits leaves the field, then you can special summon an Ancient Warrior from your hand. So, very useful. You definitely need him. He has a secondary effect with Liu Xuan, but it doesn't really come up too often. He can basically negate monster effects too, if Liu Xuan's on the board too, because, you know, they're together. They are the Double Dragon Lords after all, Liu Xuan and Zhuge Kong. Guan Yun, I bumped him up to 2. He's very useful. The God of War. He's won me a couple games by himself, if you want to check out some of the replays I have. He can special summon himself from the hand, if only your opponent controls a monster. You have an empty board, you can special summon Guan Yun, and you'll get a free body on the board. You don't use up your normal summon, and if you're lucky, if your opponent is not paying attention, Guan Yun is not once per turn. So if they have an Apollousa, for example, and they keep negating Guan Yun, it doesn't matter, because Guan Yun will keep activating. And I had another situation where a Tri-Brigade player was special summoning Double Dragon Lords, how dare he, but he used Double Dragon Lord on Guan Yun, but I just special summoned Guan Yun again. So he basically wasted the effect of the Double Dragon Lord on a card that is not once per turn. So something to keep in mind. Zhang, he's perfect at 1. I'm probably going to add him with Sun Mou, because with Sun Mou, you can send a card from your hand and field to the graveyard to add an Ancient Warrior from the deck to the hand. So you can search almost anything. Usually I would search Zhang or Lu Feng or Zhuge Kong, but we'll see. It definitely depends. But Zhang, he's going to activate Sun Mou's effect of returning a card to the hand, so that's very useful. And he also gets bigger with more opponents' monsters. And he can also have this effect right here. It can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. So, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do. Alright? But you mostly use him for the damage. He's going to be a free special summon if you have 2 or more Ancient Warriors. So special summon him after Sun Mou, and then Lu Feng, and then Zhang, and then try to get another body on board for an OTK. Alright? And for Sun Mou, he's very, very flexible. And this is the reason why he's such a good starter. You can send a card from a hand or field, like anything, any card from the hand or field to the graveyard. And this is why he is a key piece in Ancient Warrior Eldritch, which is something else I play, and Ancient Warrior Tri-Brigade. So he can, for example, pitch the Tri-Brigade cards to get their search effects going. Or he could pitch a Eldritch trap card, and I could use that effect later on. So he's really key to the strategy. You definitely want to see Sun Mou. Gameciel, the honorary Ancient Warrior, right? Ancient Warrior Gameciel, the eater of boss monsters, the destroyer of worlds. You know him, you love him. You tribute 1 monster on your opponent's side of the field, special summon the turtle, and they're going to feel the pain. Try to find the boss monster or the key card in their field that's going to help them the most and take it away from them. Take it away cruelly and then laugh at them and try to do some plays with them. And you can use Sun Mou's Return to the Hand effect and also Double Dragon Lord's Return to the Hand effect to send Gameciel back to your hand. It's like he never left home. Tell him to come home. You want him to come back. So, I've pulled that trick many, many times, and it can usually win you the game, because that's a lot of advantage. So Gameciel, definitely love him. The only problem with him is that he is a water type. And sometimes you will see a barrier statue of the Storm Winds from mostly Tri-Brigade players. If that happens, you are boned, because the only thing you can special summon is going to be Guan Yun and Zhuge Kong and Zhang. So unless you can do something with that, then that's definitely a problem. That's why I considered in the past playing the Wind Kaiju, but I'm going to stick with Gameciel. He has the lowest attack. He's easiest to run over. So that's why I'm going to choose a Gameciel. Lu Feng, the most controversial card in the deck. Something I definitely can't live without, but he's definitely hard to live with. So you can't live with him, can't live without him. So he's going to help you swarm the field. He's going to be the main thing that you're using to swarm the field. So after you special summon an Ancient Warrior, or excuse me, after you normal summon an Ancient Warrior, you're probably going to special summoning him as a follow-up. And his effect is really useful. He will be able to non-targeting destruction of the opponent's highest attack card. The only problem with this, and this is why Lu Bu, don't pursue him. He will laugh at you if you use another card that is not an Ancient Warrior, another monster effect. That's why I'm trying to minimize the amount of hand traps I'm playing. So Ash Blossom, I'm sorry. You get the cut because I like Lu Feng better. I think he's better than you. So many times I would come choosing between Lu Feng and Ash Blossom. And the choice is painful. It's a very painful decision. So that's why Maxx C is for now my only choice. But Lu Feng, he will be able to help you. He's going to destroy a lot of things because it's non-targeting, which is very important. But once again, down here, during the end phase, if your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack, he will betray you. He's going to laugh at you. He's going to leave your side. He's going to join the enemy. And that's going to be really a pain in the butt. Fun fact, with skill drain on the board, this will not activate. Right, this will not activate. And actually, I've seen this only one time in like 100 duels. Lu Feng activated his ability to betray you and go to the opponent's side because they had the highest attack card on the field. And then Sun Mou actually activated his effect to return to the hand. So I returned another card to the hand. And I think it was actually Lu Feng again. So I took him back. I sent him to timeout, and I told him to come back home. But during that situation, I also had the choice to choose Gameciel as well. So it really depends. You know, this can have some funny interactions. You might be as surprised as I was. Let's take a look at our spell and trap lineup. Harpie's Feather Duster, absolutely necessary. You definitely need some kind of spell and trap removal, especially since this is a best of one format. Best of one, so you don't have a chance to get a side deck. So Harpie's Feather Duster, definitely needed. Pot of Extravagance. The extra deck is not extremely important. It's not super important. So that's why we're playing Pot of Extravagance. I mean, it is nice to have them, but you can live without it. So that's why Pot of Extravagance is here. Lightning Storm, a very good going second card. Tenki. Please, do not limit this. Please. I need this. I need this card. It will search basically all your Beast Warriors. That's going to be Thoroughblade, Sun Mou, Liu Xuan, if you really want to, Zhuge Kong. So he's going to be the searcher. He's going to increase consistency. 3 visits, the only Ancient Warrior spell that I'm playing. He will be able to add cards from the deck to the hand. Okay? So if you normal or special summon a card, an Ancient Warrior card, you will get another one back. So the most common situation you're going to find is 3 visits plus a normal summon Ancient Warrior card, either Sun Mou, Liu Xuan, or Zhuge Kong. You use that to search probably Lu Feng, but you can search another card if you want to. But usually for me, it was Lu Feng. And then you have a pretty decent board. You have some kind of Ancient Warrior, and then you have Lu Feng, and then you have whatever else you have. Okay? Called by the Grave. This is to say goodbye to Ash Blossom and Maxx C, usually. But this card is so flexible. I think this is a mandatory card in most decks because you can target, for example, Eldritch. When Eldritch is trying to use their effect to send itself from the hand to the graveyard to send a card you have to the field, to the graveyard, you can use Called by the Grave to negate that and banish him. And an Eldritch player without an Eldritch is in for a bad time. So, definitely something to keep in mind. I love Called by the Grave. I think it's absolutely necessary. Forbidden Droplet. Also very necessary. It works very well with this deck, especially since it works well with Tenki and 3 visits. Because Tenki doesn't do anything when it's on the field after it's activated its effect. And 3 visits, it'll actually have an effect to special summon an Ancient Warrior card from the hand if it leaves the field. So, Forbidden Droplet. You definitely need this. Try to find the boss monster that's giving you a problem and try to negate its effect. Alright? So, Forbidden Droplet. Very, very useful. If you activate another card like Called by the Grave or Infinite Impermanence at the same time as Forbidden Droplet, you can actually send it to the graveyard from the field and negate another card. So that's something to keep in mind. Evenly Matched. You need it. It's an amazing going second card. It will ruin opponents' boards. It's going to demolish them. It's going to slap them in the face harder than Will Smith. So Evenly Matched. The name says evenly matched, but it heavily skews the match in your favor if you manage to activate this. So Evenly Matched is an amazing going second card. It catches a lot of people by surprise. And here is one of the newest additions to the deck, Infinite Impermanence. I replaced this with Ash Blossom, basically. Because it's way better than Ash Blossom in this deck, because it's not a monster card. It's not a monster effect, so Lu Feng will not turn himself off. So Infinite Impermanence, amazing card. You can activate it from the hand, and a lot of people forget this. If you set this card before you activate it, all spell entrapment effects in the column are negated. So I would probably put this in the middle because most people default to the middle part of the board to set their stuff. So Infinite Impermanence is there for that. It's going to negate the effects and probably going to give them a surprise. So Infinite Impermanence is better in this deck, I think, because of Lu Feng. I'm trying to work on a third. I'm still not decided on what I want to make with my crafting points, but we'll see. Let's take a look at my extra deck. Tiger King. Tiger King himself. I never once used him, but he is kind of helpful. And something I want to say. Right here I have 15 cards, but during the climb I had 13 cards. You guys probably know of the extremely annoying and obnoxious DD Dynamite deck. And if you have 13 cards, they will automatically surrender. And this has happened a couple times. So during the climb I had 13, but for this deck profile, I'm showing you the cards that I would add. So Tiger King, he's a useful level 4. That's from Beast Warriors. So very good. I pulled him from a pack. I have the Zoodiac package. Right, the full Zoodiac package. I adjusted the numbers a little bit to add a couple of extra cards that I wanted, like Time Thief or Doer. I also pulled him from a pack, and, you know, why not? Why not include him? He looks cool, interesting effect, he can dodge a lot of effects, so always happy to have him. Welcome to the team, Time Thief or Doer. Zeus, after your Zoodiac plays. IP Masquerena for some potential plays into Avramax or Shuraig. Hasn't happened yet, but there is the potential. Double Dragon Lord, he's going to be your main link. He's going to need a Wind Ancient Warrior card, which is Zhuge Kong, Guan Yun, and Zhang. So you're going to use him to gain another card after you link summon. And then, this is the most famous effect, thanks to Trollblade. You can send one card from the hand or field to the graveyard, and then target a card your opponent controls. Return it to the hand. It's a quick effect. It's amazing. It will work with Sun Mou. So you could potentially bounce 2 cards into the hand. So that's very nasty. That's going to hurt them a lot. Avramax, this is for IP Masquerena, potentially. And Shuraig, my Royal Finish Shuraig. I thought it would be an interesting addition to the deck. I haven't summoned him yet, but, you know, maybe I will. So there you go, guys. There is my deck profile. I tried to give you some information about the deck and my experience during the climb. I'd be happy to answer any questions in the comments below. Give the Ancient Warriors a chance, guys. They will treat you well. You are going to win matches. They're very simple to play, and they're very intuitive, I think. So have fun, guys. Enjoy the deck. Enjoy Dynasty Warriors. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of plans with Ancient Warriors and some other cards. Hope you guys have a great time climbing the ladder. Spit in the face of all those meta players with Ancient Warriors. Alright? Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you another time.